What is going on, beautiful people? It is Bet Slam with Sam coming at you with another UFC fight prediction for UFC Denver. This time we have Abdul Razak Alhassan, the minus 150 favorite, against Cody Brundage, the comeback, a plus 125 dog. I'm going to start off by talking about Cody Brundage, then we're going to break down Abdul, and then I will give you my pick. Guys, Cody Brundage is 30 years old. He fights out of Factory X Muay Thai under the tutorage of Mark Montoya. He is 6 feet tall and has a reach of 72 inches. You know, the dude is a exciting fighter, always come forward. He has good grappling and heavy hands. But honestly, he can make some of the dumbest decisions, and that shows and reflects in all of his fights. When you go back and look through his record, it sounds worse than it is because of how poor his decision-making is. He did recently lose to Bo Nickel at UFC 300, but honestly, no shame in that, and he did extend the fight a lot longer than people thought he was going to, being choked out near the end of round 2. Prior to that, he took on Zach Reese, who is a prospect off of the Contender Series, and he fucked him up with a slam on a night of the UFC events where there was 2 slam KOs, and he was one of the very emphatic KOs, KOing Zach Reese. And then prior to then, it goes down on his record as a win, but he did take a bit of a performance, if you will, when he fought Jacob Malkoun, and there was a elbow to the back of the head that wasn't incredibly consequential, but it went down as a DQ victory. Jacob Malkoun was absolutely dominating him in that matchup there, and he took his way out. Cody Brundage took the way out. It is what it is. Prior to that, though, he was on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost to Cedric Dumas, which is always a terrible look. Got submitted by Rodolfo Vieira, which it happens, and KO'd by Michael Olenjacek. But prior to that, he did look really good in the year of 2022. He did finish Dolce Luengimbula by a guillotine choke when he was losing, and he looked and just snatched that one up. And then against Trey Sangor, he was looking for the striking after having early wrestling success and found the overhand right into ground strikes where he knocked out Trey Sangor maybe 2 to 3 times in that one little sequence. If you go watch it, it seemed like he was waking him up with his ground and pound, then knocking him back out to sleep. Very, very interesting finish that one was. Basically, my takeaway here from watching the tape on Cody Brundage this week is that the dude is highly unpredictable, he is highly athletic, and he does have good wrestling. And my takeaway from it is that he's 30 years old. He could still be getting better. And I do trust his wrestling, but sometimes his decisions on the feet and his decision-making when he goes for things a little bit too hard, like diving for guillotines or submissions, can put him into very precarious situations. Then we talk about Abdul Razak Alhassan, nicknamed Judo Thunder, which is kind of crazy because you never see him use judo inside of the UFC. He's 38 years old, almost 39, might I add. In August, he will be 39 years old, so not exactly a young spring chicken. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, has a reach of 73 inches. He fights out of Fortis MMA, so a pretty solid gym. And just about every single one of his wins comes by KO, and almost all of them come by KO in the first round, other than Claudio Ribeiro, which was a win by knockout in the second round. His last outing was against Joe Pyfer, where he lost by arm triangle choke in the second round. He then previously defeated Claudio Ribeiro by knockout, then previously lost to Joaquin Buckley by decision, then won by knockout, and then lost 3 fights, 2 by decision, 1 by knockout. One thing I do want to point out when I went back through all of his tape is that Omari Akhmedov beats him, then Manor Lazez, and then Jacob Malkoun, and then Joaquin Buckley and Joe Pyfer. If you excuse the Chaos Williams, which was a KO loss, all the rest of those have one theme in common, and that is that if they can get the takedowns, they can beat Abdul Razak Alhassan. And so basically, all it comes down to here is, do you believe Cody Brundage is going to get the takedowns? Or do you think that Abdul Razak Alhassan is going to KO him before he starts to wear on him and get those takedowns? And truthfully, I believe that Cody Brundage is going to get the takedowns. I don't see Cody as being particularly chinny. I don't see him as being too much of a quitter. And I think that he looks at this matchup after just being paired up with Bo Nickel, who's an absolute star in the making, and a wrestling prodigy. And despite Abdul Razak Alhassan having dynamite in his hands, I think Cody Brundage is probably relieved to have this matchup. I think that he probably looks at this and goes, wow, this is a winnable matchup for me. Thank fuck for that. And this is a perfect spot to buy somebody like Cody Brundage, because if he was the favorite, if this was a minus 150 favorite, Cody Brundage to come back on Abdul Razak Alhassan, I wouldn't be having the same enthusiasm here. But as a plus 125 dog in a winnable matchup here against an aging opponent who is a power puncher and struggles when people take them down, I think this is a perfect buy spot here for Cody Brundage. Listen, this isn't a wish-washy pick, but Abdul Razak Alhassan could absolutely fucking flatline Cody Brundage, and I wouldn't bat an eye. But also I see a path to victory, which would not surprise me, which is Cody Brundage getting the takedowns, wearing down Abdul Razak Alhassan, and then winning a decision or submission. So give me Cody Brundage. My official pick will be Brundage by submission or decision, and that will be my bet as well. I will see you all later this week for more picks. Take it easy. I fucking love you all. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, drop a comment, send it to your nan, and I'll see you in the next one.